By his holy name, for his mercy and blessing on us. We seek for his mercy and blessing on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May his peace and blessing continue to be upon his household, his companions, and all the Muslims. Inshallah, our class continues today, our Tawheed class, and we are still with the book Kitabu Tawheed by Sheikh Al-Fawzan, and on the fourth chapter and the fourth section. So the fourth chapter is the chapter that is talking about Al-Bid'ah, Tarifuhu wa Anwa'uhu, that is innovation, its definition and its type. And we have actually discussed all this. And the part we want to talk about today is the part where Sheikh says, موقف الأمة الإسلامية من المبتدعة ومنهج أهل السنة والجماعة في رد عليه. So what is the position of the Islamic Ummah or Muslim Ummah? What is the position on people who are innovators? How are we supposed to deal with them? What is supposed to be our reactions and what is supposed to be our response to Bid'ah and the innovators? And how are we supposed to correct or to refute whatever innovation they raise? It is very well known, it is a well-known point in Islam that it is a basic responsibility of every Muslim to correct any mistake, whether bid'ah or otherwise. Anytime you see a mistake somewhere by anybody, no matter who. So the first thing we have to understand is that to correct a wrong is also an ibadah on its own. So now we are talking about bid'ah, that is when people violate the present Islam or the present ibadah, isn't it? To make correction or to correct it is also an ibadah. So we mentioned that from Prophet Nuh to Prophet Adam, there was no prophets, there was no revelation. Why? Because there was no violation of the divine guidance. There was no deviation from the divine instruction. Nobody did something that is wrong or that violates the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when the violation started, then it became necessary for people to be guided, and Allah started to send messengers and reveal books. So, and the messengers did act of theirs as an ibadah. The book also that we used to teach and correct is also to learn it and to also learn about it. It's also what? It's ibadah. So in other words, we have to understand that to correct innovators or to correct innovation is an ibadah. So if we understand it in that way, you will do it and you will do it correctly. You know, sometimes people don't even care about correcting wrong. Sometimes they see it is less or none of my business, or I'm less concerned. Sometimes people behave or assume that. So they believe what concerns them most is to go to the masjid, observe their prayer, fast during the Ramadan, give zakat if can, go on Hajj if they have the ability. They believe that's all about the ibadah. So if somebody is making mistake or committing bid'ah, for them or to them, it is none of their business. But this is a great what? Very great mistake. In fact, there are instances or hadiths of Prophet that actually mention clearly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will actually be protecting or preventing us from being punished as long as we correct errors or mistakes of people. But immediately people keep quiet and they stop correcting errors, then the punishment of Allah will come. So sometimes what prevents us from being punished by Allah is the what? Is the du'at, is the callers, or is the people who are correcting errors and mistakes. Sometimes people insult them, sometimes people condemn them, sometimes they were hurt or harmed. So that is part of the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that if you have decided to call to the way of Allah, you will surely be harmed. So how will yours be different from the sunnah of the Prophet? Do you know any prophet of Allah that they did not harm, or they did not insult, or they did not attempt to even kill? In fact, among the Banu Israel, their prophets, thousands of them were killed. Yahya was killed, Zechariah was killed, and many other prophets of Allah. But for the messenger, there is no single messenger that attempt to kill them was not made. But for the messenger, Allah has made it a law that nobody will be able to kill them. Allah says, Kitabu la ana. Allah says it's a law that anytime I give a message, I raise a messenger, nobody will be able to defeat them. You will make attempt. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was 10 different assassination attempts on him. So how will yours be different? So one of the things we should also be prepared for is that when you want to correct people, when you want to correct errors, you should know that you will be insulted. But anybody that understands that it is an ibadah, you will actually not be acting in a way to respond to their insult. You don't respond. So what Islam expects from you is as-sabr. Like Sheikh Islam Muhammad ibn Abu Wahab mentioned in his Usul Salasa. He said one of the things that we are expected to know, he said there are four. One of them al-ilmu wal-amalu bihi wa da'watu ilayhi wal what? So that you must expect other. That one is compulsory. Like Allah also mentioned in Surah Al-Imran. Allah said, "La tubulahunna fi amwalikum wa fi wa la tasma'unna min alladhina utul kitaba min qablikum wa min alladhina ashraku." So this is Tawheed. This is an emphasis. This is a confirmation from Allah that you will surely hear it. In fact, you are supposed to be disturbed when you have not heard it, or you have not been. Maybe you are saying something that pleases people. Or maybe you don't even bother to correct them. Everybody will like you. But if you want to say what Allah and His Messenger, not everybody likes it. So people will attempt to harm you, to kill you, so you are not different from, it's not a different law that operates. It's the same law that operates on the Prophet and Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when and if you want to correct the innovators, there are also rules and guidance for it. Like we have said, it's what? Ibadah, isn't it? If something is ibadah, the simple meaning is that the manner in which it is going to be done must come from Allah and His Messenger. That's the meaning of ibadah. Ibadah means you cannot just wake up and think of a way of doing something and you start doing it and you call it ibadah. It can never be ibadah. It will only be ibadah if it is according to the rule and the law of Allah and according to the what? The guidance of Prophet Muhammad. That is what is called ibadah. And ibadah is not limited to what? The arkan al-Islam we know. All aspects of our life. If we limit ibadah to those arkan al-Islam, then it will mean, or it will violate the law of Allah that says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ. Allah said, I have created you for this purpose. Now, there are many things we engage in. And it is actually sometimes that is not related to salah, zakah, siyam, and other acts of ibadah, isn't it? But they are going to be ibadah if it is accompanied by ikhlas and mutaba. If you do it with sincere intention and what? According to Sunnah. No, here we have come to study here, isn't it? Wallahi, your being here will be a complete ibadah if only you can include two things. That is, I want to do it for Allah's sake. Yes. If you can do that, it is ibadah. The meaning is that every second you spend here, I'm not saying minute, every second, it will be recorded for you that you are worshiping Allah. You are in ibadah. Not only that, anything you want to marry, you want to get married, isn't it? So if your intention at that moment or at the entry is that I want to live for the sake of Allah and I want to follow the sunnah of Prophet, Allah is ibadah. Everything you experience in that, whether good or bad, you will be rewarded as if you have done ibadah. So the same thing when we want to correct mistakes, we want to correct innovators, we should have it at the back of our mind that we want to do what? If that is the case, then we should know that we cannot do it according to our own perspective or according to our own view. There should be what? Guidance, divine guidance from Allah and His Messenger. So because of that, the scholars, they classify the innovators generally or broadly into three, though we can still have subcategories. So the first category of the innovator is what we call Amatul Jahilin. Amatul Al-Jahil, or a Jahil. So there are some people who are in our society, they were just innocently ignorant. And they are involved or engaged in bid'ah. How are we supposed to correct those people? And we have some people, we call them Talibul Ilmi Al-Mudallal, a student of knowledge that has been misguided. So we can also classify that one, but later we discuss them. And we have the third one, we call them Al-Mubtadi'ah Al-Mu'annij Ad-Da'i, a arrogant innovator that is also calling to his what? His innovation. He's also calling people to also what? Follow him on his innovation. So how are we supposed to deal with this category of people? Are we going to deal with them in the same way, in the same manner? Of course no. Because even Allah doesn't deal with us the same manner. If Allah deal with us the way He deal with the messenger of Allah, none of us will be alive. Prophet Yunus, he misjudged. He understands that it is Allah doesn't punish people when there is a good, a righteous servant of Allah among them. He understands that. So now Allah has told him that these people of East are going to be punished. So he now take a judgment on his own that since they are going to be punished, and Allah don't punish a group of people when there's an innocent, so he has to leave. He left angrily. But the mistake is made is that when you are a messenger of Allah to certain people, you don't leave that place and you don't do something different from the instruction of Allah. You need what? You need instruction and you need permission. Prophet Muhammad, he did not leave Mecca to Medina during Hijrah until permission came from Allah. Like Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Anfal. So whereas some of the Sahaba have been going, so the mistake what is it? Yunus made was that he did not wait for Allah's what? Permission. That is why Allah called what? Is Abapo. You know the meaning of Abapo? When a servant or a slave run away from his master. When you are a slave under a master, you cannot do whatever you like. You just have to follow instruction strictly. Isn't it? So that was it. Yunus could not have intended to follow the law of Allah. Isn't it? Or could not have been running away from Allah or Allah. Could it have done that? He actually made mistake. But despite that, Allah punished him. Didn't Allah punish him? So, the way Allah punished him, there are many people that also behave like that, but their own judgment of cases are different. So Allah didn't deal with them this way. The same application, when we have people who are falling into the same error, but the category are different, you don't deal with them in the same way. You don't correct them in the same way. They are different. So when we say somebody is a jahil, is an ignorant, he is excused in many ways, especially if his ignorance is not based on arrogance, or is not born out of what? Arrogance. If it's an innocent what? Ignorant person. So he has to be excused. Or somebody who is genuinely making mistake. So at the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah says, رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَخِذْنَا إِن نَّسِينَا. So when you do something, even if you fall into bigger, mistakenly or out of forgetfulness, you are still excused. So the meaning is that if somebody is falling into bid'ah or a sin or whatever he is falling to, and he say what? It's a jahil, it's an ignorance. So we have to be very soft with such a person. We have to be what? Soft. So there was an incident that happened during many incidents actually. One of them was that Prophet was in the masjid. A Bedouin Arab from a village, from a remote village, came to town, to city, and he entered into the masjid and he urinated right in the masjid. The Sahaba were very furious and they were about to what? To get hold of him and punish him. But the Prophet said no, they shouldn't do that. Because if it's somebody that know or that have even sense, common sense, will tell you shouldn't do that. Even if you want to actually do it in order to hurt them, you will not do that kind of thing among people. Maybe after they have left. But he was doing it in their presence. That shows that something is wrong with him. So for them, they want to punish him. Prophet said, no, don't do that. Prophet invited him and spoke to him softly and gently. Then after Prophet had spoken to him, do you know what he said? He said, Allah should not bless anybody except him and Prophet. Because he has seen others as what? As enemy. And that is the same case when you want to correct somebody and you insult him. So you have lost opportunity of that person being corrected either from your message or by you. Because the person has seen you as somebody who he cannot take correction from. So he has seen you as somebody he will potentially hate. So when you want to correct such a person, you should make yourself endear to them. You should let them know that your intention is good to them. You are not here to fight them. You are not here to cause problems or to hurt or to harm them, but for good. If somebody sees you like this, no matter how arrogant or ignorant such a person is, he will surely come down and listen to you. Because there are some people who are genuinely making mistakes. There are people who are genuinely misunderstanding things. But failure of you to explain things you want to correct somebody and you started by insulting them. Who is more misguided between you and that person? Are you telling me you don't also make mistakes? Are you telling me you are perfect? Are you telling me you don't have any area you are falling short? So you don't insult people. Allah never asks us to insult. What did Allah tell Prophet about the Sahaba? Allah said, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ. Allah said, the Prophet was very, what do you call it, disrespectful and also very strict. And he insults people. The Sahaba themselves, they will have run away from him. Which means, of course, Allah guide, but your own character and relation also matters. You cannot say because you are calling to Allah, then you have to be disrespectful. You have to be polite. This is Prophet of Allah. Allah is saying, it's because of your character that they say. So of course you want them to understand Allah, but you should start by letting them see good in you. Because they don't have access to the Quran and Hadith. You are the first person they have access to. They believe what you are doing is what is the Quran. So if they say you harsh or impolite, they may believe that is the same thing you want to call them to. They will reject it immediately. Is that also? So which means no matter the type of bid'ah somebody fall into, if from our judgment we see that this person is making mistake ignorantly, so forget about the matter. Because you should see what you are doing as ibadah. Yeah, you want to worship Allah. And you want the reward from me. And you can only get the reward if you do it according to the word, instruction of Allah and the guidance of Prophet. If you do something different from that, instead of you getting reward, you will get what? You'll be sinful. You may even be punished. And here is somebody you want to correct. So like we have said, the fact that you have to be soft does not mean you have to be silent. You don't get silent on error. Anywhere, anytime you see error mistake, you should not get comfortable until you correct it. Prophet said, "Man raha minkum al-munkar, falyughayyirhu, wa in lam yastati." So everybody, you don't have excuse that I cannot correct it. You see, what Prophet said, you should correct mistake by your heart. Can we correct mistake by our heart? The meaning is that you should hate that thing. Not the doer, but what is doing. You see, anywhere people are committing error, let's say people are committing error or mistakes somewhere that is very far from here. Let's say, for example, maybe United States of America error. Maybe we are in a global village now. Maybe you watch it through your phone or your whatever, and you see what is happening there. If you are pleased with what they are doing there, fa'anta minimum. If you feel comfortable and you like what they are doing, you are not there, you don't even know them, they don't know you, you have never seen them, they have never seen you, but from your heart, you love it, you like it, you are pleased with it, you will be regarded as part of it. If their punishment is due, you will also share from it. The manner it will happen, leave it for Allah, Allah will do it. Anything Allah wants to do for the Allah position, He can do it. So in other words, when we have people who are genuinely making mistakes, the law of the sunnah of Islam is that you should correct them softly. And like you have said, even the ammatul jahilin or jahil can also be classified or can also be grouped into different categories. Somebody can be ignorant and arrogant. That is the most dangerous thing. You see, when you are ignorant and humble, your case is very simple. In fact, Allah will guide you if you are actually interested in guidance. But if you are ignorant and arrogant, the guidance will never locate you. Because the guidance of Allah is not meant for the arrogant. You can never be guided. Even when you see the truth, you will still not recognize it. Even when you recognize it, you will not want to follow it. That was the case of Fir'aun. Are you telling me Fir'aun did not understand and did not see the truth from Prophet Musa? What did Allah say? Allah says, They see the truth. Their hearts confirm that this is the truth. But what was the problem? Heart of arrogance and injustice. That was the problem. That this Musa, Alam nurabbika fina walida. Are you not this same small boy that I raised? And that one can actually happen to anyone among us. You can imagine. You now become influential, knowledgeable, small boy. Am I the only one that took care of you? Didn't I raise you? You want to be correcting me? I beg God, shut up your mouth. If you do that, you are doing the same thing around it. That's exactly what we do. So Allah's rahmah can be placed anywhere. Even Prophet Muhammad, when Allah said him, the people of Mecca, they were confused and they were not comfortable. They said it should have been some influential people who they believe are more influential than Prophet Muhammad. That Allah message should have been what? Should have been given to them. Allah said, are they the one that share the rahmah of Allah? Are they the one that know where the message of Allah should be placed? Allah knows everything. Allah knows better. You see, when Allah gives somebody knowledge, and Allah gives him a position or whatever that is higher than you don't need any messenger or you don't need any angel to tell you that Allah is passing message to you from him. That was the same mistake Shaitan made. When Allah said Shaitan should bow or for Adam, what did he say? I am better than him. Why did he think he is better than him? He believed that the material from which he is made is superior from the material from where Adam was made. He said, you made me from fire, and you made him from what? From tin. But you see, one thing about Quran is that statement Shaitan made, there was nowhere Quran refuted. Because one of the functions of the Quran is that if anything is false, Quran will refute that this thing is not true. The Quran did not refute it, that statement is not true. What the Quran said was wrong is that no matter whatever quality of the material, the instruction is that you should bow down for him. The meaning is that you may be a superior and Allah may place a what? A subordinate under you. And Allah will create a situation whereby you have to respect your subordinate. You just have to do it. If you don't do it, you will not be different from Shaitan or from Fir'aun. So in other words, if somebody is arrogant, he will not be guided. No amount of guidance you give him will benefit him. And that was the case of the Munafiqun. They actually know the truth, not that they don't know, but they have chosen to be what? To disbelieve. That is why Allah said, Inna alladhina kafaru sawahun ahanzartahum. So it will not benefit them. So the reason or the meaning is that they actually know it and they have, because Allah said, Allah have sealed their hearts. And the sealing of their heart is from the arrogance. Because that is one of the functions of what? Of arrogance. It will see your heart. Will not allow you to see the truth. And when you see the truth, you will not recognize. If you recognize, you will not follow it. You will not be prepared to follow it. May Allah says that. So nothing mislead people or make them to fall into misguidance more than arrogance. And when we say arrogance, don't actually see yourself as you are being far from being arrogant. So your own level of arrogance may be different from theirs. But many of us, we have potential of being arrogant. And wallahi, an arrogant person will never enter Jannah. La yadkhulu Jannah man kana fi qalbihi even if it is atom weight of arrogance. Allah says, Prophet says, you will not enter Jannah. So the Sahaba, when Prophet mentioned this hadith, they think arrogance is in your physical appearance. They say, Araita rajulun yuhibbu an yakuna nahlahu asanata wa yakuna thawbuhu asana. So he loves to wear good dress and to wear good shoe. Does that mean arrogance? Prophet said, no, that is not arrogance. What's it called? Al-Kibru, Batul al-Aqi wa Gomsun nas. When you reject truth, like example of Shaitan and what? Fir'aun. And sometimes we may also do the same thing that you, even if it's somebody you hate that said the truth, admit it. There was a time, there was a time Prophet kept Abu Hurairah in charge of some of the Sadaqah of the Muslims. And Shaitan will came and steal from it. And he will beg Abu Hurairah to release him to allow him to go. But there was a day he insisted that he was not going to be allowed. But he promised that if he's going to allow him, so he's going to teach him something that will benefit him. He said, what is that? He said, if he recite Ayatul Kursi, that will protect him from Shaitan and the Shayateen. So when in the following morning, Abu Hurairah reported this to Prophet Muhammad. Prophet said, Iblis or Shaitan is a liar. It's a complete what? But this statement is true. So the fact that somebody is a liar or evil person does not mean when he says something that is true, you should know what? You should not take it. The truth is always from Allah because it's the haq. Huwal what? Huwal haq. So it's not from him, from Allah. So Allah may use him to say that truth, even if it's an evil person. So now if you are rejecting him, you are rejecting Allah in the first place. And when you also look down upon people, when you look down upon people, it's a sign of arrogance. You feel that I am too important to interact or to relate with this person, not because you don't want to commit sin, not because you are avoiding something that Islam says you should avoid, because you think my status or my position, I should not be in company of this person. So me, I'm a master student, how can I be sitting with undergraduate students? Or me, I'm a senior prefect, this is primary one student or JSS one student. It's an arrogance. No? Oh yes, president says, I'm a president, you are just a sweeper or a cleaner. Wallah, it's an arrogance. And you know what? So this simple act we see. So Allah just want to test you and test that person. It's a test. وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةٌ أَتَصْبِرُونَ. So if Allah make you a superior, Allah make somebody a subordinate under you. Allah is testing you and Allah is testing you. Even some subordinates sometimes can be more arrogant than even their superior. So they don't have any option. That is why they just submit themselves. But you will see it in them sometimes that me, if not the way, if not that I don't have money, if not that I don't have certificate, if not that I don't have this, how can I be sweeping for this kind of person? How can I be in this position? It's an arrogance. Allah is testing you, accept it. And that does not mean the person who you are under him is better than you in the sight of Allah. Is that the meaning? You see, if not for Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Musa and Prophet Dawood and Prophet, even Prophet Musa and Prophet Sulaiman, all prophets of Allah, they were always under the rule of some king or some emperor. And that was why they were able to kill some of them. You can imagine, who can attempt to kill Prophet Sulaiman when he was a prophet? Who can attempt to kill him? Who can attempt it? Nobody can attempt it because he's not only the prophet, he's the king, he's the ruler. He can give any legislation and it will be binding. But most of the prophets, they were under some other rulers, under some king. And that is why somebody can attempt to kill them and kill them, be able to kill them. Who can attempt to kill Dawood? So Allah is actually testing all of us in our different capacity places. So we just have to understand that and be very careful of the way we act and the way we even think. So like you have said, ignorance and arrogance, wallahi, that person, of course you may have the responsibility of correcting that person, but the chances of that person to be corrected is very low. So you can assist him in praying to Allah to remove the arrogance from his heart. You see Prophet Muhammad, one of the prayer he always prayed, I never leave till he died, is that Allah should make him to see himself as somebody, Allah should make him to see himself as not important, and he should make him great in the sight of people. I don't know whether you can understand what I mean. One of the prayer of prophets is he should not be arrogant, he should not see himself as being arrogant, but he should be more important in the sight of people. So if Allah grant that prayer, if you also mention that, the meaning is that you will be seeing yourself as if you are not important, or you'll be humble to people, then people will see as if you are more important. What is more better than that? And you see, the moment people notice arrogance in you, it is only if they have something to gain from you, they will still be with you. If they don't have anything to gain, all of them will abandon you, that arrogant person. Even an arrogant person will call you arrogant. Even an arrogant person will call you what? Arrogant. So arrogance is actually disastrous. So apart from the ignorant one, we also have talibul ilmi what? Al-Mudalla. So a misguided student of knowledge. You see, he's a student of knowledge, he's searching for the truth, he wants to know the truth, but that does not mean he cannot fall into error. Especially since he's under some teachers, or when you are desperate to get something, especially at some age or some level of knowledge and exposure, you can easily make mistake. You can only do something very wrongly, and that is the case of our society, especially in Nigeria today and some other parts, especially in the religion of Islam. So some people, when they attain certain knowledge or they have read some book, they see themselves as scholar. Maybe he has read some few books, or he has memorized Quran or read some hadith, he will see themselves as an authority. So he can just make some very serious error and he still see himself as being correct. Somebody was saying, somebody want to correct somebody, and he think, I have to flog it. He said, what happened? During the time of woman flog. Then, did you know in what capacity woman flog person? Woman was the Khalifa. He was a ruler. So even prophet, you see why prophet was alive. He was a prophet, he was the judge, he was the legislator, he was the president, he was the commander in chief of the armed forces. He was now. If he can act in different capacity, he can give judgment based on the fact that he's a judge. He can give command to the soldier based on, isn't it? Can you say it is a son of prophet and you act in that capacity? No, you have to understand the capacity in which they are acting, and what is your own capacity? Which level are you? Then you don't go beyond your limit. Because some people it is sunnah, have to do like this. No, you have to understand it very clearly and apply it correctly. So what we are saying is that some students of knowledge, some of them are actually misguided, and that is why they even classify them into 4 categories. So we have the first category of students of knowledge who are genuinely or who are sincerely ignorant, which is related to the first category. The difference between them and the first category is that the first category are not even students of knowledge. They are just like common people, like our society today. Not everybody care about learning about Islam, and that is another very dangerous area. You want to be Muslim, or you want to worship Allah, but you don't care about learning about Islam. Allah is dangerous. So now this one is a learner, is learning about Islam, but is sincerely ignorant about some fact, and he fall into bid'ah or into error. How do you correct it? You have to correct it softly and gently with superior knowledge. So now, this is a student of knowledge, and you are not a student of knowledge, you want to correct it. You will create problem. And sometimes you may understand that what he's doing is wrong, but you don't have evidence to back it up. So all you need to do is to just refer him or refer somebody to him that you have knowledge, correct this person. If it is done, you will get the same reward as the person. So there was an instance why somebody want to correct a mubtadi', that is a serious somebody who is committing innovation, a serious innovation. And this innovator is very knowledgeable. And this person who wants to correct, who is on the right and on the truth, does not know even anything. And you can see the debate. You will see that what he's saying is correct, but he cannot even defend it. And this one is defending the truth. Now, if the member of the public who does not even know anything, if they are listening and they see that this one has more fact or is making sense or is logical, don't you think they will follow him and think your own is wrong and false? The meaning is that you actually need knowledge to correct knowledge. You understand? If you want to correct somebody who is knowledgeable, you also need what? Knowledge. And given knowledge or given ability to have ability to convince or to debate appropriately is a divine gift from Allah. It is not given to anybody. It is given to people who are sincere in their worship of Allah. It is one of the signs of love of Allah for His servants. Prophet Ibrahim, this is one of the qualities Allah gave him. Nobody can debate and win Prophet Ibrahim. He has debated in different. Quran mentions some of them, I did not mention some of them. One of them is what is mentioned in Surah Al-An'am. So he said, "This is my Lord." He was actually trying to correct them. Then at the end of that part, Allah said, Tilka hujjatuna atainaha narfa'u darajati man nasha. So which means that ability to debate with them and win them is a status, a great status Allah has given from Allah. So why was he able to do that? Look at the Surah Al-Baqarah. When he was arguing with his king, the Namrud, he said, Ana who you will meet. He said, Fa inna Allah ya'ti bi shamsi min al-wad. Let's look at it. If we are to be you and I, the most likely thing is that, or if it is to be based on human intelligence or knowledge or logic, the most likely thing is that you will still want to continue in that line of argument. Or you will want to cause problem, or you will insult him. That, don't you have sense? How can you? That is the most likely thing a common person can do, isn't it? But Allah give Prophet Ibrahim wisdom. He did not argue, he did not insult, he did not fight. He just gave him superior arguments. And he was what? He was dumbfounded. He cannot continue. He said, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْتِي بِالشَّمْسِ فَأْتِ بِهَا فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي. He cannot make any further move. And that is ability to argue. That means you need, and knowledge and wisdom are actually very, very important for correcting people. Because sometimes you may need to apply wisdom. There was an incident when one elderly person was making mistake in performing wudu, and that was during the time of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Hassan and Hussein, who are grandchildren of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they saw it and they know that this person is making mistake, and they want to correct it. And they were just thinking of the way to correct it. What they did is that they sit close to their person, and they were performing wudu. And one of them is making the same mistake this person is making. And this one is correcting. It's not like that. This is like this. Until that person's attention was called to it and the person was corrected. So this is how to use wisdom. And sometimes wisdom does not mean you have to lie or you have to deceive. You don't need to deceive anybody. The truth is clear. Anybody wants to take it can take it. So, you know, some people take lying, dishonesty, deception to mean wisdom. You want to correct or you want to do something, you will not deceive somebody and we say they use wisdom. No, you cannot. Wisdom and deception are not related. Allah does not like deception. He does not like dishonesty. So how can you now relate it to what? Wisdom. No, that is not wisdom. Look at what they have done now. That is wisdom. Even Prophet Ibrahim, when he destroyed their idols, so he hung the axe, he hung it on the what? On the biggest idol. Then when he was asked, he said, go and ask that elderly one. I am suspecting him. Look at the axe on his head. So at that moment, all of them come back to their senses. But they cannot talk. Oh, you know they cannot talk. And you put this food in front of them and you are worshiping them. You use your hand to mold them, to sculpture them, and you are still worshiping them. Is that not foolishness? So the first category of a tolerable aiming that is misguided and making mistake is what? One that is sincerely ignorant. And we have another one that is what? That is emotionally attached to certain people, especially maybe his teacher or he has a guide, somebody who is guiding. You know, sometimes we are emotionally attached to somebody, and because of that, we fall into the same mistake that our teacher falls into. That is not correct. You don't say, and that does not mean you have to disrespect your sister. So you want to follow your teacher in order to worship who? Allah. So you should not be blind, or you should not be what? You should not be gullible. That whatever my teacher say is correct. There was a time in this country, I think in the southwest, that somebody announced the wrong date, or announced the day of I think it's starting of Ramadan or the end of Ramadan, before the Ramadan, and people were correcting them that it is not correct. But the student of that person was saying, he is correct, he is correct, when they don't even have evidence. No, you don't do that. Since it's Allah, you are not worshipping your teacher. You are not even worshipping Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Are we worshipping him? No. Should we worship him? No. If you attempt to worship Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you are going to hellfire. You will only worship Allah through who? Through Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So if we don't worship Prophet Sallallahu, how can you now be worshipping your teacher? Or your Sheikh, or whatever you call it? No, you don't do that. You don't get emotionally attached to people. You don't get emotionally attached to anybody. You respect people, of course, you have to be polite, you have to be respectful. But not to the extent of following them even when they are making error. That shows that there's nothing upside. Or maybe something is wrong with us.
They even said the prophets did not live up to what their teachers had done.
That's serious. Can you imagine that? Yes. So this is the type of problem we're having today in our society. So and this category of people, when somebody insults Prophet Muhammad, you will not hear anything from them, which means they are comfortable with it. But if you dare insult their teacher, the heaven will split asunder. There will be serious problem. They will be disturbing all the social media with all sorts of things. So this is the society in which we find ourselves. So what type of respect is that? So not even prophets, not even a Sahaba, and not even a knowledgeable person, because this is your teacher you are claiming allegiance to. If not the society we find ourselves, wallahi, if the society is operating in a normal way, he is not supposed to be in that position, to be given that kind of fatwa. That's the bitter truth. So may Allah guide us. So we have some of the students of knowledge who are emotionally attached to the teacher, and from there they make mistakes. Such students, we also need superior knowledge to correct them. We need correct arguments. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, so during his time, he was a Qari, he recited Quran, and because of that, he was one of the Imam of the Masjid. We used to pray for them as Imam. So one day, he met a circle of people in the Masjid, and they were making zikr, and they were counting pebbles. So he corrected them, and he told them that Prophet did not do it, and we do not have any precedence for his doing the type of it. So he gave them superior knowledge, superior evidence. And he shows his disapproval of what they are doing, that this is actually wrong. For how long? It is not very long time that Prophet have left you and you started this kind of thing. What about if it take very long? Imam Malik also, during his time, some people, they took off the ihram at a place that is different from the Miqat. Ihram, when you want to do Hajj or Umrah, so you only take the ihram at what? At the Miqat. Is that not the instruction? But some people decided to do it at a place different from that. The Imam Malik also corrected them and give the evidence from the Quran and what? Hadith. So, which means you should also try to equip yourself with more knowledge. You should listen to more arguments, more debates. So, if you are stable in knowledge and you are stable in understanding an Islamic ideology, so there is nothing wrong in listening to what? The talk of even those misleaders. The reason why you listen to it, so that you will also know how to refute. Because something you have not listened to, you may find it difficult to refute. But you have listened to it, you have understood it. Even that that may make you to prepare for the what? For the refutation when there's time. There's a necessity for that. So, but if you are somebody who has not been you are not well established in Islam or in knowledge, if you listen to that, thinking you will not be misguided, wallah, you may be misguided. It is better to avoid a misguider or somebody who is misguided through his lecture or through his book. Avoid his book, avoid his lecture. But if you are a scholar or somebody who have a better understanding and you understand, you know the truth, you can easily see falsehood wherever you see it, you can listen to it in order to what? To correct him and correct others, and to warn people. But if you don't know the mistake, you may not even know how to correct it in the first place. And one of the sunnah also, or even the sunnah of Allah and the messenger is that you correct, or your correction must be based on the mistake people are making at that time or at that place. For example, the type of bid'ah people are doing in Nigeria may be different than the bid'ah people are doing in Cameroon. You cannot be talking of bid'ah of Cameroon in Nigeria when people of Nigeria, bid'ah of Nigeria is even different from them. No, you don't do that. We just mentioned that Allah did not reveal message to humanity until when people started to make mistakes, which means it was not necessary. It means you don't give things that is not necessary. You don't talk about things that is not necessary. You only talk about things that are what? That are necessary. Otherwise, you may be causing more problem than solving anything. So look at, we mentioned Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. So if you look at most of the book he wrote, it was on Tawheed, Kitabu Tawheed, Usulu Salasa, Kashfu Shubuhat, what is it? And so on and so forth. The reason why he did that was that at the time Allah raised him, it was a time when people have lost their path in terms of Tawheed. It was a time when kufru and shirk was widespread everywhere in the society at that time. So that was a primary assignment he has to do that time. The same thing Sheikh if you read most of the book, it was based on the word, on the mistake people of his time were making. There you see our youth today. they will just go to the social media and be talking about irrelevant things. When the problem is here, they will not even talk about the problem. Talking about people having problem in America. When we have problem in Nigeria, we have no solution. No, you talk about problem that is happening in your area and how to solve it. That is the logic. So, apart from people who are emotionally attached, we also have the third category we call what? We call the al-mubtadi'a, al-mu'annib, adai. An arrogant and caller that is what? That is an innovator. So these are the category of people. Even then, they are also classified into different categories. That we need to give them the way they give people. Number one is an innovator. Number two is arrogant. Number three is calling people, other people to what? To his innovation. So you don't keep quiet on any form of innovation. Even those we call ignorant or who are making mistakes. Let alone somebody who is what? Who is not even ignorant, but is what? Arrogant. No, you don't keep quiet. If he's making it public, you also have to make yours public. Because that's the way you can correct it. If he's doing it privately, you have to make it also private. Except if the private confusion or problem is creating, if it's going wide, then you also have to make it public. So the meaning is that you have to assess the situation and look at what is necessary. Not that you just be doing things ignorantly or you be doing things without any work, without following any guidance. No. You have to assess the situation and understand what is needed or what is being done. Then you know the right way to correct it. That is Islam. Islam is not that you be blind, you be doing things blindly and be saying what is not necessary and you be insulting people. Even this type of innovator we talk about, there is no, it does not make any sense to what? To insult them. No, you don't insult them. And do you know what? From my own observation and experience, it is when you don't have anything to say that you be insulting people. How will you know Quran, no hadith, no fiqh, no evidence, and you have time for insult? How many Quran have you explained? How many verses of Quran have you explained then you be insulted? It is only when you don't even know what to say in the first place that you have time for insult. You cannot exhaust the verse of Quran that will refute the innovation of the innovators. You cannot exhaust the what? The hadith that will refute the what? The innovation of the innovator. You cannot exhaust it. Then how will you face that properly and still be having time to insult? So that shows that you yourself, you have problem. You have question mark. If you know what to say, you know insult. And insult is not related to what? And like we have said, you see, even people we are correcting, you see, you correct people for two things, the innovator. It's either to reform him or to prevent people from falling into his trap. If it is to correct people from falling into his trap, how will insult benefit them? No, you don't need it. It's knowledge you need. If it is to correct him and reform him, do you think when you insult him, he will think of listening to you? No. Do you know any time prophet intend or want to correct somebody and prophet insult? And when we say you use your hand, you use your mouth, no, that means your position. There was an incident that happened somewhere sometime. Somebody was saying it that there was some group of women who are learning some books of Islam, maybe Tawheed and some other books somewhere. And one of them, using niqab, went for consultation from a soothsayer. That is a clear what? It's a clear shirk. Is that not a clear shirk? So others, they learned about this action. And when they met in the school, or the class or the circle at the following time, so all of them, they started to beat ba, 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 ba. They say why? They say prophet say man wa mi kum limu ga. They say prophet man wa mi kum limu ga. So they are correcting with their hand. So you can see that they also have problems, which means they don't even understand the hadith. This is a complex situation, and this is one of the problems we are having in the world. Just like the example we give, You see somebody say, this is an innovator, he's insulting, you are causing more problem than solving it. And apart from the innovator you are correcting, other people who are listening to you, some of them does not understand what you understand. They will just study the logic in what you are saying, not even the knowledge. They will just look at logic in what you are saying. Is it logical? Is it making sense? Is it meaningful? Is it in order? That is what they will use to judge whether to follow you or not. Now you are insulting, except if they are criminal like you, that they will follow you. You know, some people, that is what they like. When if you are not insulting, sometimes people insult in order to impress. You say, yes, I better insult more. This is not correct, and this is not Islam. This is not Islam, this is outside Islam. This is different from the way of Prophet Muhammad and even the Sahaba. Abu Darda, one day, he entered his house very angrily and very disturbed. And his wife asked him what was the matter. He said he observed that people have changed the sunnah of Prophet. He said the only sunnah he saw that everybody is doing correctly is the sunnah of praying in Jami, in the masjid. So for the other aspect, many people are falling to different media. So he did not go to insult them. But himself was very, very uncomfortable and was very sad. Sometimes these people who are correcting people, they don't even feel uncomfortable, they don't feel disturbed. It's only talking, but you don't even see it in their mood that they are disturbed. If what you are saying, if it means anything to you, you should be first of all disturbed. And you should pity those people who are making that mistake and feel sorry for them than any other thing. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu, when he saw people or when he observed people falling into mistake, he felt very sad. The sadness was too much that he almost killed himself. Parts of Quran make reference to Surah Al-Kahf and Surah Al-Fatih. لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِضٌ نَفْسَكَ إِنْ لَمْ. So Prophet will be very, very sad. But you, when were you sad because people are not being guided? When were you sad before you see innovation? Have you ever been sad? No, not to insult, not to cause problem. This is not Islam. We should understand Islam and how Islam is done. Of course, bid'ah is a very great sin. But what do we want to do? Isn't that we want to correct it? Then you should use the right medicine and the right manner. If you don't use the right medicine, it will become poison. It will cause more problem. And look at the way we are correcting people. Are we getting solution? Is it getting better? How many years did Prophet Muhammad use? Did you see the way he transformed the Arabian Peninsula? Very short. And according to some commentators in the world, even non-Muslims, there is no such leader in a short period of time and change the whole race, even the whole world, in a very short period of time. Look at what Allah said about him. They will have run away. But you, not to insult, you are very impolite, cause trouble. No, that is not Islam. And what we are saying is not that we should tolerate bid'ah or nonsense or innovation. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying is that we should do it in a way that we bring a better, that we correct the situation. May Allah guide us and overlook our shortcomings. So I've been notified our time is up. Inshallah, we are going to stop on this note and continue there tomorrow. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We ask Allah to reward our Ustadh abundantly and make his sacrifice of lecturing us as a means of guidance and goodness for him in this world and thereafter. And we ask Allah to grant us better understanding of our religion and grant us the knowledge that will make us to rectify the bad doings in this site. And if there's any question from the audience, we should signify.
My first question is that you just mentioned that maybe during Salah, one of the people approached the Prophet like maybe during Salah, when some people approach the Prophet and said the only slave that people are doing is that they do jamming in mosque or what?
It's not during the Prophet, after the Prophet. It was Abu Darda that made that comment.
It now reminds me something that came up in this masjid.
Okay.
As we sat here in very close to the masjid. So there was a time the rain was falling and the weather was very cloudy. So we are now debating on whether to do gentlemen and Maghrib and Isha on that day, or we should abandon it. So we were lost. I had no evidence to back up the most of us. Just say we should just wait, maybe after this, we should play the Maghrib and then come after for the Isha. Then we need clarification on this.
Now, it is a sunnah of Prophet that when there is hindrance on the road or on our path to the masjid, so especially rainfall or the path being waterlogged or something that will make it, and darkness, that will make it very difficult, especially rainfall. So in that situation, and specifically for the Salah of Maghrib and Isha. So if it happened at the time of Maghrib, about when we are making Maghrib, we are about to make Salah to the Maghrib, then it is permissible for us to do jamming between Maghrib and Isha. In fact, it is a sunnah that the muhazzin that we call the prayer should say Sallu fi rihali. You understand? That is if there is a prayer. I mean, if the rain is falling at that particular moment. But for us that is living in this place that is very close to the masjid, as if we are living in the masjid, since the reason why we are permitted to do that is because maybe we are able to go to the masjid, or the road will not be bad, or the weather, even the rainfall has to be a heavy rainfall. You understand? Because the intention of Islam or Allah is what? Is to make things easy for us. So now anytime, this is a qaida, this is a general principle, that anytime there's a difficulty, so you will find a way of relieving it or making it easy. So since it is very easy for us here, so in my own view, even after the rainfall, another thing we should understand about the Salah of Isha is that it is preferable to delay it. Of all the prayers, so we are expected or encouraged to pray at the first time of the prayer. So if you have a reason for its delay, you may be forgiven. But for the Isha, the best time is to delay it to the late time. And the reason is that Prophet wants that we don't do anything after Isha prayer. And like we mentioned, that one of the ways Allah can take our life is during sleep. You can never sleep. And it is good that the time or the last thing you do when your life is taken is what? Is a righteous deed. Because no matter whatever you have been doing before, the moment or the point, the way you die at the point of your death, that is the way you'll be resurrected. And that's the way you'll be judged. And that is why we have to pray to Allah for what? For good ending. And that is why prayer Isha late, so that we will not have opportunity of engaging in other things is what? So you see, for example, the manner in which a prayer Isha is that when you see people gathered, people used to come from different places and they will be waiting for Prophet to come out for the Isha. So when you see that all of them are gathered, and sometimes women and children will be dozing, they will be sleeping, then Prophet will come out and pray for them. But sometimes they will not even come on time. Then Prophet will also delay it to that time. So since that is the best time for you. But the reason why he prayed at that time, so that it will also constitute what? Difficulty for people. Because some are even those sleeping and some want to go back and sleep. So it's better to pray at that time. So in my own view, for people who stay here, I think even after 2 hours, as long as it is still but another thing is that Prophet still doesn't want us to sleep before Isha. And he wants Isha to be the last prayer. So I hope you understand. So if you think that after the rain we can still come, I think it's better, it's preparing. So otherwise we can still pray Jami again. May Allah assist you. Somebody is listening. Now? During Salah. I didn't hear the question.
So she give us a shoe, right?
Okay. Okay, wearing socks. What's the ruling of wearing socks? To wear socks, go? Okay. I think the what we have to consider here is the ruling of the aura of both male and female in Salah. For male, our aura is between above our level and below our ankle. That's our aura in Salah. You understand? But if they say that is the aura, that does not mean you should go to the masjid with a with a cloth that will expose your upper part of the body and also expose. If people see you in the masjid, they will be looking at you as, what is wrong with this man? Even though we say that is the minimum aura, but you don't see Prophet or the Sahaba praying in that manner. So there are ways you dress that will give you respect and they make people to look at you as you being an honorable person. And there are ways you dress that people will say, hey, this one, now wow. You understand? So in other words, it is only, like for example, you may find yourself in a situation that you can only cover this place. In that case, that is not a reason for you not to pray. Because that's the minimum. What I'm saying is that you may find yourself in a situation where maybe you just find a wrapper that will only cover from here to here. I say, maybe you can continue your prayer. Is that also? So, but for female, their aura is all part of their body in prayer, except their hand and their face. That is in prayer. And when we say all part of their body, including the sole of their feet. But how are they expected to cover it? Their hijab is expected to cover it. I hope you understand. So their hijab is expected to what? To cover it. If you wear a hijab, that when you pray, that hijab will still cover the sole of your feet, then it is fine, it is okay. But that does not mean you can still not wear socks. You can wear socks. Even men can wear socks. But you are not wearing socks in order to cover your aura. But maybe as a for beauty or whatever. You understand? So you can also wear socks. But for female, it is basically for what? For aura. But there is something we have to correct. You see somebody will wear a hijab that will only cover maybe that will reach the knee or even above the knee, and we wear socks. I don't know whether you understand. The hijab, maybe you cover here, it will not even go down. Then the person will now wear socks. No, your hijab is supposed to be long and cover what? And cover your adornment. Like Allah mentioned, Surah to know. وَقُلِ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ وَلَا يُبْدِينَ. In Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah said, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ قُلْ لِأَزْوَاجِكَ وَبَنَاتِكَ وَنِسَاءِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يُدْنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ ذَلِكَ أَدْنَىٰ. So this is Islamic. Your Islam has its own guidance, which is from Allah. The society and the shaitan and the enemy of Allah, they also have their guidance. They have their own way. They will tell you that if you wear this type of hijab, you are okay. They say you are moderate Muslim. So who will tell us what is moderate and what is it them or Allah? Allah that says you should wear a hijab that will cover all your. So and then they say, who is talking about moderate? And Islam is the moderate religion. So what we are saying actually is that you can wear socks, but it is not compulsory. But it is compulsory for you to cover all parts of your body when you are praying, except your hand and your face. It's clear?
In this question, sir, there are some sisters. If they dress, they do not dress decently, and they also know that they do not dress decently. And when it's time for Salah, they will be looking for someone
to borrow a hijab.
What is their own case?
Well, Amuruhu ilallah. So it's Allah that knows what their judgment is. You understand? So, but what they are doing is very bad. It's very, very bad. Yeah, I even know somebody. You are talking about Baruko. The person will put hijab in the bag, and we go the way she like. The way it's time for prayer, she bring out the hijab from the bag and use it to pray. You can imagine how Shaitan is playing on our brain. So this is actually not correct. But their case is with Allah. May Allah rectify all of us and correct us. Now.
And my question is that we have some innovators among the scholars that they are innovators, but in fact come once, but they are not that troublesome in preaching. So how should we deal with them?
I don't know what you mean by troublesome.
Okay. Sometimes most of them they are just on their own. Like if they preach, they only do it without attacking the people of Sunnah. That is what I mean.
Well, innovation or innovators is all about what the person is saying. You see, what you are doing is between you and Allah. So if you are doing it privately in your room, we may not have any big problem with you. So Allah has not made it a responsibility for us to go and be looking at people's privacy. What are you doing in your privacy? No, it's not our business. In fact, it's a sin to be finding the fault of people in private. But when you come to public, and you are saying it, then it becomes our responsibility to correct it. So when we know that this person is saying what is wrong, even if he did not attack anybody, but what he's saying is wrong, we have the responsibility to correct it. But we should study the situation and condition, circumstances, the best way to correct that person. Like you mentioned now that it's not a troublesome, is that what you said? Yes. So we should look at for the best way to correct somebody, so that maybe Allah can guide him through us. Allah assist us.
Like after the death of those innovators, some scholars say you should not pray for them or something like that. Now these people will just die. Is it so? There are people that they said because some are attacking Sunnah during their lifetime upon their community, they do attack the Sunnah purposely. But the one that just practice the innovation without attacking the people of Sunnah, like still preaching, is not a fitna against the Sunnah.
So while we determine whether we participate in somebody's funeral or not, is that person is still a Muslim or not? So that's what we determine. If somebody innovation has made him to go out of Islam, you see, the fact that somebody is calling a Muslim is not enough, but what you do matters. If you are doing something that may negate your Islam, that is enough reason for us not to engage in somebody's funeral. Especially if the person has been told and clarification has been made for that person that what you are doing is wrong, this is the correct thing, and the person still insists and continue and dies in that manner. So we have no responsibility to that, to participate. Otherwise, for every Muslim, Prophet said, Akul Muslim ala Muslimi Khamsun. Another person says, isn't it? So one of them is what? It's about what? That you should participate in janaza. As long as you can call him a Muslim, even if it's a sinner, as long as you cannot call him a kafir, you have the responsibility to participate in his janaza. So, but if you have evidence to say that Kai is a kafir, so even from his speech or from his action or whatever he does, then you are not supposed to participate. You understand? Prophet Allah says, Allah warning. You see, Prophet's law that people are guided and Allah have rahmah on them, even among the munafiqun, Prophet attempted to pray for them or to even participate in their janaza. Allah said, وَلَا تُصَلِّ عَلَىٰ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ مَاتَ أَبَدًا. Don't ever do that. You understand? Don't do it. If you can confirm that this is a munafiq, a kafir, a mushrik, forget about somebody is calling himself. You see, all of us are calling ourselves Muslim. But sometimes we commit error that will make us to leave Islam. So if it is not a mistake, what we call forgetfulness or being forced coercion, if it does not, such a person is excused. Like Allah mentioned, Man kafara illa man ukira wa qalbuhu. So for those ones, they are excused. But if it is somebody who is doing it consciously and is explained, you do what scholars call that you remove his confusion and you explain the issue to him. If you do it for him and he's still insisting, then that person is a kafir. If he dies, you don't have responsibility of participating in his janaza. Now,
my question is that in the case of correcting people, maybe elderly ones, some of the times they used to say that maybe if the matter is related with religion, if you say like, sir, this proper way you're supposed to do this thing, maybe they will insult you or they will say like, you never born that time.
So this is true. This is true, and that is the way they are brought up, and that is the way people behave in the society. It's related to, and some of them are just doing it or saying that based on the society, what operates in the society. But there is one thing, you see, if you want to be somebody that will be correcting people in the society, you should look at yourself and position yourself in a way that people will respect you for who you are. You understand? So now you want to be correcting people in the masjid. Let them know that you have that certificate to correct them. You should be doing dawah or teaching them, and you should be talking with what? With knowledge and authority. Let them know that this one not be small child. I hope you understand. But you that they have never seen, they will say, are you better than us? Your father, no be me, boy, your father. So you know that kind of thing. But I didn't mean you are, even if you are very small, you are the imam, you teach them, you guide them, you quote hadith, you quote Quran, you explain it, you analyze it, you explain, you remove their doubt, everything. Even somebody says, it's not a small child, he knows what he's saying, you understand? But you yourself, you don't say anything, they don't know you. Now only correction you come to do. They will say they don't know you and you don't have anything to say. So you just have to study things. Sometimes when you observe that if you correct them at that moment, they may not listen to you. You may still keep it till another time you think they will listen. I will look for the best opportunity or the best way. But like you have said, since you know the society is by yourself, just look for the best way. Your intention is to do that way, is to make people to what? To be guided. That position yourself in a way that people will see you as what? As somebody to be listened to and to be to take correction from. Now.
So for that, for the answer that you give, that means if somebody want to become their ear, that means a person that will calling people to correct me. So a person, even if it's an audible, he has to be very mannered and
He has
to be mannered.
Yes.
One. And he has to maintain his dignity in the society. And he has to look at the society that is living, because of next generation or next he is planning to become their ear. So if care is not taken, if his image from there they will lose. So definitely in the next, if he say that he's their ear, he won't correct people. People do not listen to him.
Yes. May Allah assist us.
Now, in the case of no question, inshallah, stop it for today and continue tomorrow. Inshallah,
Tomorrow, inshallah.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.